And I can have color now. There I am. I have color now, and I'm small. So yeah, I have a very, very important presentation right now. Why are there so many frogs? What they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. Oh, I can't see. Wait. There. Give me 1 second. I need to get this done in a way that I can see. PowerPoint, please. PowerPoint. You guys can't see what's happening, but okay. I can now see both my slides and chat. I know, it's a miracle. It's a wonder of technology. But so why this presentation? Why this question? Very simple. A couple of weeks ago, I was, as I very often do, walking down the forest very nearby where I live. And I basically daily walk there. And all of a sudden, I noticed there are a lot of frogs here. Like I couldn't walk 2 steps without having to be very careful to not step onto one. I think that's a little bit strange, but it was also like warm just after it had been freezing. So I thought, well, maybe I just usually didn't notice when a lot of frogs were, when there were a lot of frogs last year. Apologies. But then, a week later, and keep in mind, between these, I've been still going daily towards this forest, and it was only the one day where I noticed all these frogs, that there were so many frogs. So then a week later, so a week ago, again, frogs everywhere. This is crazy. So I made this picture that you see right now. And in between, again, no frogs anymore. And then this Monday, I was walking again through the forest, and all of a sudden, all the frogs were back. And so I took a couple more pictures. These are about half of the pictures I took. And also, I think I took pictures of less than half the frogs I encountered. They were everywhere. Now you might think, but okay, a lot of frogs in a forest. Why would I care? Well, I wasn't so sure about that either. So I went to the one and only best place to figure things like this out, ChatGPT. And not only did I go to ChatGPT, but I asked a very important question. I used the deep research feature for this. What happens when there are too many frogs? Because I could clearly see there were too many frogs in this forest here. And honestly, the answer was a little bit boring. So I tried to specify. I said, "Hey, answer in the style of Randall Munroe, what if video?" Did not really go as well as I'd like. Was still a little bit boring, to be honest. It's like a corporate version of a Randall Munroe video. So let me just summarize real quick what the 2 answers brought. Total ecological collapse. That is what is on the line here. This is what, if there are too many frogs, all the bugs get eaten, all the algae get eaten, and just the entire the entire ecosystem collapses. So this is an important question that we're thinking about why there's so many frogs. Now let's see, what do biologists have to say about this? And I was gonna interview Raven for this, but then I decided I want to do it this week, and I figured I'm not gonna be able to plan this. So instead, I just guessed, but I think biologists probably think about it, and that's probably good enough, I imagine. So when you think about this, the left picture here that you see is a frog in hibernation, and obviously it's just been getting warmer here in the Netherlands, so a lot of frogs are probably getting out of hibernation and waking up and kind of like doing their thing, which makes sense. And it hasn't been very cold this winter, so I imagine that maybe a lot of frogs have survived here. And that, sorry. And I also read somewhere that a lot of the natural predators of frogs aren't doing too good right now. So they probably they're probably, at least that's what a scientist or a biologist would say. They're probably just like a natural ebb and flow of like populations, and next year there will be probably more predators because they've been eaten well this year, blah 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 blah. Don't believe it. Okay? Don't believe any of what I just said. So there's one thing I haven't mentioned yet, and I'm gonna have to get back to here. What do you notice about all these pictures? What is noticeable about all these pictures of frogs? Where is the water? There is no water nearby. You wouldn't expect. Some of them are even like in the sand. Frogs are supposed to be in ponds, in little streams, in like tiny rivers. I don't know when something is a big stream or a tiny river. I imagine there's some overlap there. Doesn't make any sense. But then I figured out, what are the biggest predators of frogs? Well, there's at least the one that I immediately think about is the heron. And then in the Netherlands, at least, we have also a little song about a frog having to evade a stork. And then obviously there's also the French. Those are the three kind of like natural predators of frogs. And what have all of them in common is they hunt for frogs near the water. So the frogs have learned. They can avoid their predators if they just don't go near the water. And I assume they have figured something out for the whole like hydration, and I think amphibians like need to keep their skin moist and stuff like that. But clearly, they have outsmarted all three of their main groups that usually hunt them, of natural predators. So one question remains. What does this all mean? Well, I'll very simply tell you what it all means. It means it's frog time. Fuck block game. Bonnie Bear said frog time right now.